very interesting opportunity opened up, and it was an independent school that went kindergarten, actually pre-kindergarten through 12. So it had a lower school, a middle school, and an upper school all on the same campus. So that was a very interesting school, and I taught there for about a dozen years and became the department chair and later on director of studies for the upper school, which meant that I dealt not with just mathematics, but with the other subjects as well. I found that very interesting because I loved mathematics. It was my main interest, but I was interested in other areas as well. So that was a very interesting and unusual school. I was able to teach and develop unusual courses for the high school level. This was in the early 1970s. And so we had a course in probability and statistics, a full-year course in probability and statistics for the students. We did an interesting way of doing the what you might call pre-calculus. We had it broken into an analytic geometry course and an elementary functions course. And we used actually college texts. And then Prater Mori, as a matter of fact, I remember the analytic geometry text. And for one year, we actually used a text that Professor Vogeli had written with someone on the elementary functions. I didn't know that, of course, until many years later. But I also taught courses. I taught a course in linear algebra to high school students. I taught a course in non-Euclidean geometry. What we wanted to do there was to have courses for students that were not necessarily interested in going on through calculus. We had 2 years of calculus. We went beyond the BC syllabus. We did, in my view, much more interesting mathematics than what was on the BC syllabus. Our calculus kids took the A-B exam, and they usually did well on that. And so for the second year of calculus, we found out if they were interested in taking the BC exam, we would cover that syllabus. If they weren't, then we did very interesting things with spherical coordinates and hyperbolic trig, things where the students were really investigating the mathematics themselves. But we wanted mathematics for other students who weren't interested maybe in that kind of high-powered direction. And so we had courses, as I said, in linear algebra, non-Euclidean geometry, and that was for students after that kind of algebra 2 level. They could split off in different directions. And we had a couple of students who would take 2 math courses in a year. They would be going on in the calculus, calculus sequence, but then they would be also taking the probability and statistics course. So that was a very interesting school to teach in. And as head of the department, I actually had responsibility from kindergarten through the 12th grade, and we had teachers from the elementary school, the lower school, as representatives on our math department group, and of course from the middle school as well. So we really were able to have the curriculum articulated throughout. So it was an interesting school to teach in, and some great students, and a very good community as well. I have wonderful memories of teaching at those school levels, both at the junior high school. I had experiences in junior high school that I still use to this day when I'm preparing teachers, to talk to them about some of the challenges that you face and some of the unexpected things that can occur when you have kids who are kind of battling with adolescence and growing up. So I found, as mathematics drew me in, and I was teaching mathematics, but I found in the schools you were dealing with more than just with the mathematics. You were dealing with a lot of the issues of young people trying to grow up and find themselves, define who they were, and find directions to go in. So it was very satisfying, a very satisfying experience. I took a sabbatical. I was there for I think it was about 10 years, and I took a sabbatical and received a fellowship here at Teachers College. It's called the Klingenstein Fellowship. And the Klingenstein Center was fairly new at the time. We were maybe the second or third cohort to go through the program. And my view was I was at a point where I needed to kind of take a look and see what was going on, what else was there. I was heading toward administration and being groomed really for administration. But for me, it was what happened in the classroom that drew me. I can do administration, but it's not what really drew me in. So, so I said, let me take a look and see what's going on. This fellowship was wonderful. I could come to Teachers College and take and Columbia and take any courses I wanted to, and we had seminars and so on. It was for a full year. So, and my school supported me in that as well. So after that year, I went back to my school, which was part of the contract, and I sort of began to think about what else I might do, and I saw through my experience at Teachers College that there is the possibility for preparing teachers. I had, had a very strong and rich experience in teaching at the school level. So I saw my next step as preparing teachers to do what I had done and what I enjoyed so much. And so I returned in the mid-1980s to study full-time. So I was, back in the school where I taught was in the Chicago area, suburb of Chicago. So I literally moved back to New York and left a very good position. And so I took some what we call opportunity costs there. But I knew that this is what I wanted to do and pursue it. And from that backing from when I was young of if you've got something that you want to do, my parents were that. I had that confidence. At that age, I was, of course, independent, but I had that confidence to pursue what intrigued me and what I saw as a reasonable path to take.